Oh, maybe. Okay, guys. So I am super excited to be having Amber join us tonight. Amber is one of our uplines, and some of you guys don't know her, but there's a few reasons why I'm super pumped to have her on tonight. First of all, because she's awesome, and I've gotten to spend quite a bit of time with her over the past year, just at different events, and then at Jamie Pecca's leadership retreat, and you guys, I think that there's a lot to learn from her, and I was excited because she reached out to me and she really wants to get to know our team and really kind of just be part of everybody's journey. So I'm super pumped to have her. And also I figured, you know what, a Sunday night is the perfect time, because I used to do these kind of Zooms every Sunday night with my team when I was in a previous business. And the reason why is because Sunday is kind of like the day where you're refreshing, you're filling out your calendars, you're getting ready for the week to come up, and you're really setting those goals, and it really sets the tone going into Monday running. So Amber, would you care to share a little bit about your story? Because I don't think a lot of people know your story that's on here right now. And thank you again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, it's filling up, and it's so funny because as it fills up, like everybody moves. Like I see Libby like go from here to there, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But sometimes I get a little squirrel. Anyway, when we started this journey, I was, physically, I was tired, exhausted, worn out mom. I was a hairdresser independently, rented a booth. My husband ran his own swimming pool business. My boys raced motocross. We traveled with that. So we were super busy. I was late 30s for the past few years. I was just really tired, like not like sleep all day tired. I just was just in a funk, and I remember going to the doctor a couple years prior, and he was like, well, you're just getting older, you're a busy mom, you're going to be tired, you're going to gain some weight. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hate you. That was where I was. But what happened after that is I took that and believed it. I walked out of that office, I sat in my car, and I said, well, what do I have to look forward to for the next 40, 50 years? I'm going to be tired. I'm going to gain weight. I guess I better, get with it. So I just kind of kept pushing and pushing because I believed that was how it was supposed to be. That was how I was supposed to feel. I was tired because I was in my late 30s. I couldn't remember things from room to room because I was in my late 30s. I had shoulder and back discomfort because of my career. It was situational. Everything made sense. It all had a reason. And so when Maria started sharing with me about the Thrive experience, honestly, y'all, I didn't think it was for me. I was like, oh, I've tried other things before, because I had convinced myself I was just getting older. I had to push through. This is just how it's going to be. Nothing can help me. And when I watched her for about 3 months, and y'all, she reached out to me every week. You hear them talk about the funnel, and we can talk about exactly how she did that and how she dripped on me. But it literally, she every single week would send me a 1-sentence message or question. And at the same time, she was sharing, you hear us say all the time, share the Facebook fan page stories, right? Share 2 to 3 a day, share different stories of different people, not necessarily just those you relate to. And that's what she was doing. So at night, when I couldn't turn my brain off and I couldn't sleep, I was scrolling Facebook, and I would start reading those stories. And I was like, well, good for her and good for him. And well, those things don't work for me, But then finally I got to a point where I was like, well, why not me? What if, And it's funny because I honestly thought that I was going to do this for a month, and I was going to say, see, Maria, I told you these things don't work for me. But what happened was within those first few days, I felt something. I literally immediately felt mental clarity. I felt focused. I felt like a fog was kind of lifted and I could just get things done. You know, do any of y'all relate to that in the beginning of your Thrive experience? Just that, oh my gosh, I can think straight. You know, that was huge for me, because then I was getting my to-do list done. And at the end of the day, I'm going to bed feeling accomplished for the first time in a really long time, instead of defeated, because, oh, look, I don't have to make another to-do list. I can just use the same one tomorrow because none of it's done. You know, I mean, that was my life for several years. And as a wife and a mom, I just kind of felt like a failure. So in that first week, when I noticed the mental clarity, I noticed by day 3, my coffee sat cold. Y'all, I was 24/7 coffee drinker. Still, that's weird to me. Even now, 4 years later, I don't drink coffee. It's still weird. But you know, I was craving water, just happier, healthier me, sleeping all night long, not seeing the clock 4 and 5 times a night. And I think it was the end of the first week, or maybe the middle of the second week, I worked a normal 12-hour day. I did 3 12-hour days a week. I worked that 12-hour day. And on my way home, when I walked in the door, I realized that my feet weren't numb, and that was a big deal. And I was like, oh my gosh. You know, because I like cute shoes, and I would still wear them to work, even though I was on my feet for 12 hours. All my clients would go, oh my gosh, I can't believe you work in those. But I like cute shoes. So I just had always said, well, my feet are numb because I'm not wearing the right shoes. Well, I was thriving. I still wasn't wearing the right shoes, and my feet weren't numb. So, you know, that was not the case. Truly just a different me, a better me, a different feeling, you know. So with that, I just felt better, you know. And when I realized I had already run with what Maria was telling me before my product even came in, I ran with sharing your fan page, getting people to create free accounts. Hey, you should just join me. I just ordered. Let's order together. Why don't you start with me? You know, those were things I was saying to get my first customers to hit my VIP. But when I started my first week of actually thriving, I knew, I was like, oh my gosh, this is different. This is for real. I remember week 2 in our kitchen, our old house, but I was in the kitchen and I was like, oh my gosh. And my husband was like, what? And I said, I remember this feeling. Like, I got so excited. I was like, I remember this feeling. I remember feeling this way before you, before kids, before marriage, before, you know, adulting sucks life out of you, back in my 20s, you know. And that day I told him, I remember I specifically said, I will always thrive. I will never, ever go back to where I was, to how I felt. I will never go back to that me that was crying in my closet. That girl is gone. The real me has woke back up, and I will never not thrive. Like, if this is the Thrive that's doing this, we're sticking with it. And I even said, I was like, I'll sell my shoes. I'll sell whatever I have to sell. If we don't get it for free, if we don't make any money, I will thrive for the rest of my life. And, you know, he said, well, I guess we better get busy. So, because, you know, we didn't want to, why spend money on something that you can get for free? So of course it was, I want to get it for free. I want my friends to get it for free. I want everybody coming on board to hit VIP 800. And that's exactly what we did. And, you know, I talked on a lot of team calls this week, kind of asking the same thing, like, hey, take us back to the beginning. And I think it's the new year, right? So everybody's like, hey, take us back to the beginning if we were to start over. And one thing, you know, is what do you attribute your success to? Guys, I don't shut up about Thrive. Like, I know what it did for me. I know it was a godsend for me. I know that I'm so passionate, not because I want to hit a rank, not because I want to make a sale, but because I think about the women and men that aren't telling their friends how crappy they feel. They're thinking this is how they're going to have to just suck it up and live for the next 40 years, you know? Cause I remember thinking, like, my family, my grandma's 95. So like my family lives a really long time. So at 38, you know, at 35, I guess it was when he told me that, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, my family lives a really long time and I'm going to have to feel like this forever. Like that was that moment, you know? So when I started thriving, I was like, I don't have to feel like this for the next 50, 60 years. So I always tell everybody, just if you're not passionate about this product, let's rethink your Thrive experience. Let's go back. You know, people are like, well, I don't know if I feel it anymore. And I'm like, close your eyes. Don't think about what you're feeling right now. Think about what you felt before. You know, where were you before? How did you feel before? And really just close your eyes and put yourself back there. Like, take yourself back there. And I promise you, when you do that, you then realize, oh my gosh, I'm not anywhere near there anymore, you know. And if you're not, then we need to work on your Thrive experience, which is fine. You know, we can see what we need to do to help adjust it or what plus line. But I mean, that's all there is to this business, is the passion in the product. You know, there's power in that product, but there's power in the passion that stands behind it. And that's really where we're at, you know.
Yeah. So Amber, I think it's important for everybody to realize and to know, because how did you and Maria know each other?
Oh, okay. So we were just acquaintances. Like, we weren't really friends. We both did this. Well, she was in the business. I was just doing it for fun. And we did this jeans thing and like home jeans parties because I wanted free jeans. And we met through that company like twice in public, in big groups. We met twice. And then we became Facebook friends. And so when she reached out to me, y'all, we were literally acquaintances. We liked each other's Facebook posts. That was probably it. And when she messaged me, she said, hey, do you have 5 minutes to chat? I want to run something by you. And I remember thinking, why is this girl, what could she possibly want to talk to me about? You know, like, I had no idea. But I was at the salon, and it was in November. So from October through Christmas is so busy for hairdressers. So, I was like, well, I'll be on my way home later tonight. I can call you then. I'm at the salon all day. And she's like, okay, that's fine. Just call me, text me, and then we can chat on your way home. So it was like 9:00 at night. And, it was so funny because she literally was telling me, she was like this, oh my gosh, like, that's all I heard, because she was so excited and I was so tired, you know. So it's kind of funny. And Amanda, I'll go ahead and just run through how that took place, because it's so good. She was setting me up for success before I even knew I was going to thrive. And, you know, first it was a quick phone call. She says now, or we joke after the fact, that I poured cold water on her Happy Fire Thrive bubble, because I was like, oh, good for you. Thanks. No thanks, you know. And she totally didn't skip a beat. She responded really quickly with, I totally understand. Can you do me a favor? Can you create a free account? Because when you change your mind, I want you thriving with me. You know, I've always said, like, she just said that. And I was like, what the heck is she talking about, thriving with her? Oh my gosh. But I said, sure, not a problem.
But she asked you to do her a favor. And
it was free.
And it was free. So that right there, I think, is one of the biggest things that most people don't say in their conversation. But the reality of it is, guys, is that it's free.
Voice. It's important hearing that in a voice, I think. I'll tell you what's really funny. And I didn't even, it was not until probably this year, here we are, I'm coming on 4 years, but it wasn't until this year that I realized what else she said. I started breaking that down the other day. So, you know, okay, do me a favor, create a free account. Because when you change your mind, I want you thriving with me. She already
speaking it into existence.
Planted the seed that I'm changing my mind, you know, because when you change your mind, and then this next part, I want you thriving with me. You know, like, she's painting that picture. You know, of course people want to be wanted, right? I want you thriving with me. Like, she painted this whole freaking, you know, masterpiece picture of what was going to happen. So
Jamie Pecca did the same thing to me. She basically told me that if I didn't join her, that she was signing me up because it was free and I would love it. And that's basically, and
That's
then
awesome.
she says, would you at least get on a phone call with me? And I said, I'm not going to join you, but yeah, I'll get on a 3-way call with you. And then the rest is history, because I got off of that 3-way call excited, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. And it, you know, it just pumped me up. And, you know, I think, Amber, something that too a lot of people need to hear and know is a lot of people didn't build on social media back whenever you first started. Besides the sharing, the social sharing of the somebody came unmuted. Hold on, I'll mute everybody real quick and then unmute you. Hold on a second. Okay. I don't know why it does that sometimes. But oh gosh, you're just unmute yourself. So the biggest thing is like a lot of people, I mean, we share the social network, you know, we share the Laveau fan page, and it's so important, guys. If you have not already submitted your Thrive experience, I cannot explain to you the power of that. Amber was actually in Bridgeport, which is about 15 minutes down the road from me, a couple months ago. And I sat in that room, and I don't think I had anybody from my team that actually had ended up coming. What happened?
I don't know.
Somebody's screen sharing. Guys, can you turn your screen share off?
It's a
Melody's phone screen.
So all I know how is to get on a Zoom and talk on a Zoom.
Oh, now somebody's drawing. Okay. Melody, you might have to come out and come back in. It says Melody's iPhone screen. I don't know. Anyways, keep on talking. We'll just stare at the
you were talking about
thing.
when we were in Bridgeport.
Oh yeah. So this was a huge wake-up call for me. Whenever you were here, that I really did not have a local team. So I said, okay, I've got to start doing some locals. Well, I still am here. I don't really have much of a local team. I have a couple people working, but I haven't really gotten anything together. But my goal for the year is truly to build a local team. Right now, I have some traveling. I just got home from New Orleans, and I know that you travel and do hit swap share. I don't know what that is.
No, that didn't work.
I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to keep on talking. I can't look at the screen because it'll squirrel me big time. But, you know, getting to these events and having these Thrive After 5, I think so many people think they can't do stuff until they're a certain rank or whatever, and that's just not the case. Would you care to share about a little bit about how you really kind of started your business? Because Maria set you up with saying these things, telling you right off the bat to share your Thrive experience and so forth.
So, okay, so let me finish that part on, because I think it's important too to understand the follow-up, the dripping, because like for you, like you and Jamie were close, right? Like, weren't y'all close and she was just like, hey, you're going to do this kind of thing?
Yes. Jamie and I were very close.
So with Maria, think about it like this, because you have two kinds of people when you start your business, or even now after your business has been started. You have two kinds of people. You have the people that aren't interested yet, and you have the people that are interested and want to know more, you know? So for me, I was not interested, right? Maria knew that because I said, I'm not interested. But she, you know, we created free account. Okay. So when I got home that night, she had sent me a message. Hey, thank you so much for being willing to check this out. Here is that link. Just click here, create that account. Have a great night. Thanks again. You know, real simple. Now, because I already said I wasn't interested, she didn't then, after I created my account, she didn't then, after I created my free account, she didn't show back up immediately with, oh, thanks. Hey, go watch the video. Hey, go like the fan page. Hey, go listen to 24-hour call. Right? You're going to put people through the funnel quicker based on their interest. So for me, I wasn't interested. So every week, once a week, was another message. The next message was, hey, did you get a chance to see that video on the website? Then the next week, hey, go do me another favor. Would you click this and click like? And she sent me the link to the fan page. Click like.
Then, I like that as a follow-up tool. Guys, I hope you guys are taking notes on this, because it truly is. If you're talking to somebody and like their level of interest is like, nah, but then you finally get them to sign up as a free account, but yet there's still not a whole lot of feedback from them, you can use that as a follow-up to continue to get them through the funnel. So how long did it take before you tried the product?
3 months, once a week, every 7 days, y'all, for 3 months. So think about that. Think about the people, because I'm guilty of this. I didn't realize to go back and follow what she did to me. And so there are people that I maybe sent a message here, a message there, and, it maybe took them 2 years to thrive with me. Well, literally, I went back and looked, and it was probably a total of 12 messages. Well, what if I had done that every 7 days? They'd have been thriving with me 3 months in. You never know. But she consistently messaged me about once a week. And
were you annoyed with her messages? Because she wasn't trying to sell you when she messaged you.
Not at all. And it's funny because it was just a message, it was just one message. And I think because we're thrivers and we're constantly sending messages, that we're thinking they're getting as many messages as we're sending, and it's important to remember they're just getting one message from you, once a week or so. So I think it's easy. I talk a lot about the brain, our minds being a breeding ground, and they can truly, one negative thought can breed into so many more. And before you know it, you've convinced yourself after sending one message that all your friends are at so-and-so's house and they're all talking about you, and right. That's not possible because you just sent the message 30 seconds ago, So it's really important to grasp that, if you start thinking a certain way, you're like, okay, that's not even possible, and just move on. And there were times, y'all, that there were messages she would send me, I didn't know how to answer, so I ignored them. Like some of them I would say, okay, sure, or okay, done, or hey, thanks, whatever. But there were sometimes she would say, hey, girl, are you ready to thrive with me yet? I didn't want to say no because I thought that was rude. And so I just didn't respond at all because that's so much nicer. But, I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know, and she didn't care. Like, she wasn't like upset. She just was on to messaging the next 75 people. I mean, that's just that's why she is where she is, right?
Well, and I think that's a very important lesson, and I hope that everybody really hears that, because I hear people say this a lot over the past almost 5 years now. I've heard a lot of people say, I'm working, I'm doing this stuff, I'm sending messages. Well, actually, I truly don't believe that sometimes people can be sending messages, but they're not effective messages. They're like salesy messages, and that's just not a lot of times going to grab people's attention. Asking somebody how they're doing and so forth, and carrying on a conversation. A great conversation starter, guys, instead of posting on somebody's wall where all their other friends are telling them happy birthday, is inbox them a happy birthday, and make it more meaningful. Or do both.
Do a non-thriving message on their wall, just say, hey, happy birthday. Because also, if your other friends see, oh, Amber said happy birthday to Susan, well, then now, like, they might be checking out your stuff, so, but do both, reach out to them privately and share with them, that kind of thing. So, okay. So after that whole funnel thing, it was, the last day of January, and I was like, okay, what if? And, I was never offered a sample. I didn't know anything about trying it. I just knew that I had to order something. And so I did start as a promoter simply because I created my account wrong at 3 months earlier. And I went ahead and just started as a promoter when she assured me that it wasn't any different in fees. I wasn't going to start a business. I just wanted to feel better. And so it was so funny because a lot of our messages in the beginning, because I told her I wasn't going to do the business, so she really didn't push me on that. But I'm a proactive person. So I ordered my pack, which I ordered wrong. I ordered my pack. I'm like the epitome of mistake. I ordered my pack. I didn't get DFTs. I mean, I'm a hot mess. So, I ordered that, and then I messaged her, okay, I just ordered. Awesome. Did you see that VIP 800 you can run after? And I was like, no. And so I went and I looked in my cloud and I looked and I said, well, what all do I have to do that? What does that mean? She's like, girl, you just need 4 friends thriving with you. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I just followed the chart, right? I followed the graph. I didn't really ask her any more questions. I just followed that. I called my mom. Hey, do you want to thrive with me? What's that? I don't know. It's on its way here though. We could do it together. I mean, I didn't even know what it was supposed to do for me. I just was asking people, hey, it's supposed to help you feel better. Do you want to join me? Do you want to thrive with me? Do you want to try it with me and see if it even works? Like I was just being flat out honest, right? I did hit my VIP 800. And from there, I was already feeling amazing, because at that point, my product had come in. So I was feeling great. So now I'm really running after it. I'm like, well, I want to earn that iPad. I want more people to get it for free. I want my 2 promoters that came on board to hit their VIP 800. And I want my friends getting it for free. And, that was kind of that excitement level at that point. Because I felt so great. Well, then Chastity posted, which we hadn't talked in 20 years, but she posted that she was tired looking for some kind of hormone therapy, something. Had anybody heard of this, And I just messaged her. I said, hey, I don't know if you've heard of Thrive. I know you're with another company, but girl, I feel amazing. And I saw your post. I would love to tell you more about it. She responded with, hey, I'd love to hear more about your product. Call me tomorrow. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, okay. I didn't know, I don't really know anything about her being with It Works I didn't know any of that. I knew she was with that, but I didn't do direct sales kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you hadn't talked to her for like 20 years and you just see her posting about
Facebook friends. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, we chatted, then got her on the phone with Maria. I did send her a sample. I think she had already decided she was going to order, and she might have even placed her order and the sample was like showing up, but she knew what she had in her hands. She knew it was a ground floor opportunity. She knew what she had already learned on social connections and just took off, and I'm just sitting over here going, I don't even know what's going on. Like this girl's going like wildfire. And I even had a moment where I thought, oh my gosh, look how awesome she is. I suck. Like I wasn't exploding like that. And I remember.
But you also hadn't really ever grown a big social network, or you said you did the jeans in your house and stuff. Yeah. So I think that is so important for people to understand, that somebody that maybe has had a network or has 5,000 friends on Facebook that they interact with and have tons and tons of likes, it doesn't mean that you're not going to grow. Like I had 200 friends whenever I started in network marketing 5 years ago. And now I have like, I don't even know how many, and a lot of people end up following me because I can't accept very many more friends. So, I think that's important for people to understand. Chas had a network. You really, you had a network, but you didn't have a big network.
She had the understanding
And she had an understanding of the
direct sales
industry.
and networking. Yeah. And the only networking I had done was to get hair clients, which I love being social with people. So it wasn't, wasn't much different, but I did have that moment. And I remember Maria, just as simple as she said, you just need 4 friends thriving with you. I said, oh my gosh, she's an amazing leader and I suck. And she said, girl, you found that rock star, go find another one. And I was like, oh, okay. She made it so simple, and she believed in me that I did this so I could do that. And I just kept sharing, right? I did what I did when I found Chastity. So I just kept sharing. And then we hit 200K unred-legged in May. So we started in February, we hit 200K in May. We just have been growing ever since. And it's just so important to remember that it's not always about who it's who they know,
So I want to go back there for just 1 second because we're not even at February yet. I don't care how long you have been part of this company. Your ground zero is right now. The reality of it is that some people put those self-limiting beliefs on themselves, I feel, and they're almost afraid to dream too big or too far ahead because they're afraid of letting themselves down. But guys, I want you to believe that, here Amber's telling you she didn't have a network. She found somebody else that literally just rocked it out in it. And she didn't let that stop her. She didn't let that defeat her. Of course, she had to learn how to overcome that, but she went to her upline, her sponsor, Maria, and Maria said, you did it once, go find somebody else. So she got right back to exactly how she got Chastity, sharing it, talking to people, being excited. Amber, did you get on calls?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, it's so funny because I know you and I have talked about this. So guys, and at that time when we started this, we were in a super tight financial bind. So it wasn't like I could just go buy some Bluetooth or this or that. I literally rummaged through a drawer and found one of those old, the one ear, Bluetooth. It was just one. And I think we'd had it from a while back and, whatever. But I used that. I hooked up to my phone. I put that on. I would fold laundry. I would do dishes. There were a lot of daytime leader calls then, and I would dial in every time one was announced. I would even dial in at the salon. I would do this with my hair and hide it. And I would listen while I was shampooing, or I would listen while I was blow drying because I really couldn't.
It's so funny because I used to put my phone in my medicine cart when I worked weekend midnights because there was always a call on at 10 o'clock on Sunday nights or 9 o'clock on Sunday nights. I can't even remember. 9, whatever. Anyways, I would always put my phone in and I'd listen to it. I found a way instead of an excuse. So go ahead, keep on talking. Sorry.
No, exactly. And so, but that's what I did. Right. And I tell everybody, even when I was folding laundry, I'd fold laundry on my bed and I would have a notepad and a pen because for me, I learn better when I take notes. I learned even spelling words in high school, or whenever you did spelling words, all that, I would write them because when I would write them, I would remember them. And even when I would go to hair seminars, everything, I would write so much because that's how I remembered and retained. And so I would be folding laundry and one of the leaders would say something and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that. And I would start I'd put the laundry, I'd pick up the pen and I would write it down. And then I would go back to folding laundry and listening, that's just how it was. That's how it grew. And, Amanda, I love how you talked about how you were brought in on a 3-way call,
Yep.
Jamie, who even Jamie had said at the time she wasn't really doing calls, but she brought you in on a call. And, those are huge. Those are important. That I'm telling you, if you don't do anything else, if you do 3-way calls, your business will grow. It will grow.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people's fear with 3-way calls is they don't know what to say, but also I think, we have this, I think, and I'm guilty for this as well, feeling that we're going to be on the phone all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality of it is that, guys, that's one of the reasons why if you learn it from the very beginning, then you're doing it for your personally enrolled, your personally enrolled's doing it for their personally enrolled, and it's not everybody having to just go to one person all the time too.
10 minutes here and 10 minutes there, and, and whatever. And honestly, I mean, if you are, especially in the beginning, maybe if you're on the phone all the time, if it's going to lead to financial freedom in the next 5 to 10 years, I mean, heck, right? Like, and you're able to do those calls from your house or from your car or at the parking lot of a ball game. I mean,
I can't tell you how many times I've seen Amber. And Amber, I'm just going to, because she leads this by example, and it kind of, every time I hear her doing a call of some kind, and I know that she's at one of her son's motocross things, or she's doing a Zoom and I see in the background motorcycles, or I hear her tell these stories, is because the reality of it is, guys, is that when I'm sitting in the car line to pick up my kids from school, I can be doing a 3-way call, and I have. Whenever,
and it's not taking away from our time with our family, I mean, there are going to be times, there are going to be sacrifices. And we always talk about how we sat down with our kids and we said, listen, this is what we're doing. If mom is on a call, you go to dad. If mom, we just laid that out, but we also made time just for them too,
100% needed.
And whenever it's family meeting, right? And so whenever they start, oh my God, you're always on the phone. I'm like, how many races did you race last month? Because that is not cheap. I'm like, I'm doing this so you can do the thing, and they're kids, right? So you remind them and they're like, oh yeah, okay.
Right. And I have a rule too, where at my daughter's softball games, my phone is put away. Like, I don't pull it out except for to take pictures of her, just for the simple fact that I don't want her looking up and me staring down at her being and making a major play. So I think it's important for people to realize that you can do things in between, and it doesn't mean that you have to leave your family behind and your family can't be part of it. And it's one of the things too, that I love about this company, is that they encourage you to dream together, to do a family dream board, to, do those kind of things. And I can tell you this, my daughters, I started getting, I've always loved quotes and things like that. And a couple years ago, my daughter made a picture of her soccer team, and it said, and she did an overlay, "We rise by lifting others," over top of her soccer team and all these girls. And I just thought about that, like the fact that she saw me doing that for years. Now, when you walk into her room, you see all these positive, inspirational quotes. My youngest daughter and my husband and my oldest went shopping when I was in New Orleans, and I came home and my youngest daughter has quotes, and she's 7, and she started a YouTube channel, and she wants to be a YouTuber, and she's hilarious. And she always tries to put her name out there every time I'm on a live, and that's just part of me. And I want everybody to realize, like, your family is just as much as part of this, and these dream boards and everything that we do. It's so important to involve them, so that it's something that you can share with them as you guys are building whatever it is, what you're going for. So, Amber, okay, so let's go back to locals, because I think I kind of got,
Okay.
I go all over the place. So, you were talking about 3-way calls, and guys, I'm telling you right now, if you're not doing them, it is important. And I can tell you that a lot of people that have been in this business that have joined me, when I think about it, that are still working their business to this day, we've either voice chatted, we've been on a phone, we've been on a Zoom of some kind, or we've definitely had personal interaction. And, there weren't all those different techniques and ways to get in touch with people, back whenever you started. And now we have all these different ways. You can even video chat. I was video chatting with 3 people when we were in Quebec, on the phone that were just getting ready to get started.
And that's great. Facebook Messenger video chat is a great way to talk to people internationally, because before it was really hard for people to connect, and now you can do that video chat, and so, or even use just the phone chat in Facebook Messenger. So I did a 3-way call for a girl here that had somebody starting in Australia, so we were able to do it that way.
Right.
But yeah,
so there's different ways to do those. And I just feel like you have to start somewhere, even if it's just 1 or 2, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to get everybody on a 3-way call, guys. It's when you're running up against obstacles or things that people are asking you that you're just not comfortable with, or you're not feeling good. But it's the fact of when you do it, you're going to learn, and then you can, then you don't have to be on it for every single person all the time too.
Well, and I'll tell you this. I will tell you that if you can try to get as many people on a call as possible, and again, just like a quick 5-10 minute call just to share, because here's what that does. It shows the duplication for your friend that is just wanting to be a customer, that thinks, oh my gosh, Amanda answered all my questions. She's so smart. She knows everything. I could never do that. Oh, I definitely just need to be a customer. But if Amanda connects her newest Thriver to Jamie, and Jamie just shares her quick experience, okay, I can give you back to Amanda, see you later. Well, now she's thinking, gosh, all Amanda did was connect me to her friend. So for me to get it for free or to run this business, I just have to connect my friends to Amanda. I can do that. That's where there's the validation coming from somebody else, but then that duplication, because like I pulled a girl in the other day, she was already going to order, but I pulled her in to meet Maria real quick. And I told her after I got Maria off the phone, I said, hey, I just wanted you to really hear her story, but I also did that for another reason. And I told her, I said, my goal is for all my customers to get their product for free. You need 2 friends thriving with you to get it for free. All you have to do is just connect me, just like I just did with you to Maria. And she was like, oh, I could totally do that. So, there's so many reasons. But the main, it's so funny. We think about third-party validation because we're like, no, my friends want to hear from me. My friends are going to say yes to me. They're not going to say yes to you, or, whatever we tell ourselves. I have 2 quick stories on that. So a long time ago, Jason, we had dogs that were digging out, and I had come home and I said, oh my gosh, I have the idea for our fence. We're going to be done messing with these dogs digging out. And I told him my idea, and he was like, yeah, I don't think that'll work. And I was like, oh, okay. And I went on about my business. 6 weeks later, he comes home and he's like, hey, our neighbor Mike had this great idea for the fence. And it was exactly my idea. Like, it wasn't my idea turned around or upside down or added to. It was literally what I said. And I'm like, that's what I said. He's like, no. And then he goes, oh, maybe, but he heard it from somebody else in a different way. We move here. My oldest son started 8th grade in this area, and he was going to do sports at his other school, but we moved here. Oh, I don't want to do sports. No, I want to get used to the school first. I want to, I want to meet people first. And I was like, no, you should do sports in 8th grade and get used to it, before you go into high school next year here with the people in this area. No. So we go next door and meet the neighbors and their kids, and we're all hanging out one night. And they're like, so are you going to do sports? And he's like, no. And they're like, oh, you should totally do sports. You're going to love sports at Wilson. And the next thing he's like, yeah, I think I'll do that. And I'm like, really? but truly, right? Your kids, if you got kids, they're listening to their friends' parents more than they're listening to you. And it's the same thing you've been saying. That is exactly the same thing here. It's just they're hearing it another way. I can't tell you how many times I'll get off a call and they're like, oh, they'll tell Maria, no, I didn't know you could get it for free. oh, I'm not supposed to drink coffee. And I'm texting her. I'm like, I told them that, I said, and she's like, girl, I know, but it is what it is, so just know that seriously, to grow your business, that is the thing to do. You've got to do those three-way calls. So.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about, because, how do you feel that you grew your network the most over the years?
Grew
she has to think about it.
Like grew my network in Thrivers, or just adding to my personal network?
Well, okay. First of all, I know that you and Jason will snap a picture of somebody out in a concert.
Mm-hmm.
See, I pay attention and decide, oh my gosh, I want to be able to tag you on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
how do you? Yeah, and did you talk about Thrive, or did you just become their friend?
I learned that from Chastity.
I believe it.
And so, and here's the thing, and when we decided, hey, we're pulling up our bootstraps and we're going with this too, I watched the people that were more successful than me, and she may be in my downline, but she's an amazing leader. So I was learning from her. I was learning from Maria. I was learning from Paul. I was learning from other leaders in the company that came in before me, And so that was one thing. And I didn't understand it at first, because all I knew when I came into this, Paul was like, get 100 free accounts, get 100 free accounts, get 100 free accounts. So that's all I was focused on. No, I need to get emails, I need to get emails, I need to get emails. And we're out and she's like friending people on Facebook. I'm like, you can get their email. Like how are you gonna make a free account? Like I didn't understand it, but then I realized, oh, well now they're going to see more of her. They're going to be in her feed. She's going to be in their feed. She can reach out, so I learned that from her. And yeah, we'll be out and about, or we'll meet people and it's kind of, people will ask, what's that thing on your arm? Oh, hey, let me friend you on Facebook. I'll send you some more info. It's so loud in here. Or, hey, we'll start chatting and then, hey, what do you do? Yada, yada. And just creating that relationship in person, and like I've met people at Disney World. We met a couple that their phone quit working and we were able to video the castle show. And I'm like, here, let me message it to you, So we became friends on Facebook because their phone quit working, just different things. But as far as growing my Thrive network to begin with, getting people to thrive with me, it truly was just, and I'm still following up, I'm still reaching back out to the people that I say this all the time because it happened to me too, is there are people, and I'll go back, as far back as I can go to see where the messages stopped in my messenger, like that I maybe, was like, oh, well, they hurt my feelings, or, oh, they're talking about me, or, oh, they said no, and I didn't follow back up, right? I didn't continue being consistent. It's not too late. And right now with Thrive 2.0, you have this huge door opening opportunity to go back to people that, you want to reach back out to them, right? This is a great follow-up update. This is, hey, oh my gosh, I just wanted to update you. Have you seen how awesome they're improving Thrive 2.0? We have so much coming. I can't wait for you to see what else is coming. You're just opening that talk, right? You're just opening that chatter and them to be able to invite you to give them even more information. Oh, what's coming? What do they have? That kind of thing.
So, okay. I'll ask you one last topic, and then we can scroll through the messages real quick. And then I'd like to close this up by 10 because I know everybody's really busy, and this is the last night for the free shipping, first time customers. So I want to be able to finish up and let everybody finish up their Sunday night. Awesome. So, okay, two things. I lied. One thing, the first thing is How do you, and you know what, we might have to go into a separate one at another time for the next, for like locals and things like that. But I want to touch on what you would tell somebody right now if they've been kind of spinning their wheels, they haven't messaged anybody ever before. Everybody wants to know messages, but really it is the power of your testimony. It is the power of your excitement of what you're sharing to somebody and wanting to get, you know, in touch with them or whatever. But what would you tell somebody if they were brand new? Okay, we're just going to pretend like everybody's brand new right now. And for them to do on a daily basis, or for them to plan for their week, because I know how organized you are. Okay, so what would you tell them? You are organized. She says she's not organized, guys. She is a planner. She is a planner. So what would you tell them? Look at her.
I'm like, no, look at my pile. I got a pile.
But I also see Post-it notes back behind you too.
Yes, and yeah, and I need to. I may have slowed up on that a little bit. I need to get better at that. But I would say, okay, so in Maria has a calendar challenge group page. There are, and I've got some posted in our files section in Thrive Stars as well. There are some daily activity sheets. Okay. Those are so simple.
There's some, I put them in the files on,
okay.
I believe they're in the files on the Level Up and the Dream Team on Lisa's page as well. And if not, okay, I'll make sure that they are.
If you can take those sheets and you can check off those lists every day, that is what you need to be doing on a daily basis. That is it right there. It's reaching out to new people, following up with old people that you've talked to, following up, getting people put through the funnel, you know, sharing stories every day on your Facebook fan page, or on your Facebook from the fan page. Those are the key things. Getting on team calls. Guys, here's the thing too. You know, like sometimes, I only have 10 minutes and the call starts at this time. Get on the call for 10 minutes, you know, like you don't have to be on for all 30. The Zoom start. Get on for whatever time you can get on and get whatever nuggets you can pull away in that amount of time. You know, I used to say, like, I'd get on a call and go, I'm only going to be able to be on here for 5 minutes because I have clients coming in, and then my client would be late and I got to hear the whole call, you know, so you just never know, or else I just would have been sitting there doing nothing, you know, and I could have been learning. But those daily activities, and Amanda, I wanted to touch on this because you said it earlier and I kind of thought about it. So when you said growing, you want a local team. So, you know, for me in the very beginning, I did grow a local team. But, you know, there's always going to be turnover. And so now I'm trying to regrow another local team. And what I'm doing is I'm getting out of my house. You know, like, I think it's so easy for us. This is my personal goal for my New Year's resolutions, whatever. My personal goal this year is to get out of my house and intentionally go to things that are going to put me face to face with people.
I seen you at a women's networking event.
Yeah, well, it was a fundraiser.
Okay.
It was a women's fundraiser. It's a mom's group. That's all. It was a mom's group that did a fundraiser. A friend invited me and I invited another friend. The friend I invited, I've been trying to get to Thrive with me. So we're sitting at that table. She goes, you know, I really have the winter blues. Do you think Thrive will help me? I'm like, hallelujah. You know, so it was, you just never know. Right. And so, my thing this year is to get out and meet more people in a social atmosphere, because I want to meet normal people. Yes, there's going to be business builders along the way, but what originally, you know, the outside of Chassis being a business builder, what really 90% of our business is built by moms that felt like crap, you know?
Right.
I mean, that's where I feel like that's where I got to get back to. Meeting.
Well, and you know, the thing is like, I can tell you, I have so many customers, people that have joined my team that are parents of kids I go to school with, parents of, or parents of the my kids at school, parents of kids that my daughter played soccer with, softball with, that I would meet and talk to and become friends with on
Mhm.
social media. They'd see what I was doing. They ended up joining me or, becoming a customer. People that I used to work with. You guys, you can go through your friends list. You can see who you used to go to school with and you haven't talked to for years. Just recently, I shared this with some people. I don't know who I shared it with, actually. It was in one of the chats that I'm in. Recently, actually last year, when I was going through some pictures, I found some pictures. I used to be in show choir and madrigals and like concert choirs and stuff. And I found a picture, and I'm friends with a ton of those people on Facebook. But anyways, we ended up creating a group of just all of us that used to be in show choir and madrigals, and we all shared pictures. And every now and again, that group would like pop up, and people will be laughing and we're having a good time. And through that, I've reconnected with a lot of people that have tagged each other and tagged each other. I mean, I had like 400 comments on a picture that I tagged some people with, and then somebody else tagged somebody else. And it was just reminiscing, old times and so forth. So you guys, you grow your network by showing up in other people's feeds sometimes, and your friend that you haven't seen in 20 years that now maybe you were, well, maybe not 20 years. But for me, I know that I had somebody join my business in my last company because a friend commented on a post, and she says, "Oh my gosh, I haven't seen Amanda since like before we graduated high school." So she friended me and then ended up joining me in the business. So the more that you interact and you grow, and the more you just open your mouth and you talk to people and you truly become their friend and you listen to them, what their wants and needs, just like your friend telling you, do you think this, Thrive would help with the winter blues? Those are the type of things. Like I had a friend of mine who, that I actually trained back when she first became a nurse, years and years and years ago, right? She is a friend of mine on Facebook. We've gone out a couple times a few years ago. We don't even work together anymore. But she became a free customer of mine last January 30th. And she just became a ordering customer of mine the other day. Okay. And she messaged me because I always have a thing like message me as soon as your product comes. And she messaged me and said, "Hey, Amanda, I just wanted to let you know what my Thrive experience was like." She said, she felt really focused and she's looking forward to the weeks to come. And now her fiance wants to try it. So it's like, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like sometimes when we talk to people, they don't want our product right away. Whenever I went to New Orleans, I can't even tell you guys how many people I added on my Facebook. In fact, one girl I added on my Facebook, my Instagram, and my Snapchat. And the reality of it is, do I know that she's going to end up joining me at some point? No, I don't know. I have no clue. And ironically, one of the girls at one of the bars downtown, she ended up being friends with one of the girls on our team. Like, and like she knew about, Lavelle, but she didn't know about it at the same time. So how crazy of a small world is that she would actually know? Like whenever I went to friend her on
Mhm.
Facebook, I saw a mutual friend and it was somebody on my team. And I was like, "Hey, look." So I snapped a picture with her and sent it to the friend, you know? Right?
Yeah.
But okay, Amber, we have been on here almost an hour. Is there any last tips that you can think of that you would give those that are jumping on listening tonight? That just little tidbits of some things that maybe have made the biggest impact.
I
That
think, other than everything that we've already covered, which is the total basics, which is what we do, over and over and over, rinse, repeat, but the feel, felt, found, if you haven't heard that. So like if you are doing the three-way call for somebody and there's an objection, or you're chatting and there's an objection, I completely understand how you feel. I used to feel the same way, or I felt the same way. What I found out is, like I think somebody posted a little thing here about pyramid schemes or whatever. I totally understand how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found out is our company is free to join. There is no money funneling up. It's truly just commission-based online orders. You know, when somebody says, well, I really like my coffee. I totally understand how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found out is I switched to decaf just to not add or interfere with what Thrive was doing so I could really see if it was doing anything. And then what I found out was on day 3, even my decaf sat cold. You know, so using that feel, felt, found. It's a big tool.
I love that. I love that. And that's a wonderful tip that I hope everybody will write down. I've heard that for years, and it totally is, it's spot on, you know? So Amber, thank you so much for hopping on tonight's Zoom.
So
We'd
glad
love to have
be
you
here.
again. You know, whenever you're free. I know you're a busy woman as well. But just know you are appreciated, and I am so excited to see you here in a few weeks. Are you going to be in Las Vegas, aren't you?
Actually,
No.
no, y'all, this will be the first trip in 4 years I haven't been on. We already had another vacation planned, and
It happens.
when they announced the dates, I was like, no, you know, because I mean, we didn't, with the dates being later. And so, yeah, I'm pretty bummed about it. But we knew it happened eventually. Jason has actually missed a few trips, but I've always been able to go. He has gone and done with motocross and whatever the kids had. And I was like, no, I'll always be able to make it. And this one, I'm not. So.
Yeah, it happens.
But y'all are going to have a blast. You're going to love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Lots of announcements.
Well, anyways, I'll see you here in March.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Thank you all for hopping on tonight. And thank you again, Amber. I hope that everybody took some amazing tips. And I'm going to be posting on my Level Up page and on Lisa's Dream Team page this checklist, because I just found it on ThriveStars. So, all right. Thank you, Amber. Everybody have a good night. And I'll post the recording as well soon. Bye, guys.